Hi anyone, I'm Luppi and we are playing some more Mario Minecraft. We are very much about to continue our horrible Netherite project. I'm a little more awake than last week. I apologize for that. That was a mess. That being said, this week I have also been in the grips of fighting insomnia, and my sleep schedule has been in a word, I would say regrettable. I think that's the way I would describe it. I have had days of like basically no sleep and days where I got a nap in the middle of a time I would be awake, and days where I don't think I've had a normal night. Yeah. A normal sleep a normal sleep period. I don't think I've had a single one. Unfortunate. Like, I don't really mind it as long as it's kind of like uniform, because you can usually work around it. You know, if you're not able to sleep like an hour, 2 hours into when you would usually be able to, you can just kind of be like, yeah, I'm gonna read a book, or I'm gonna edit some videos, or I'm gonna just donk around on the internet, and I've got the time to do that, so suck it. But usually what happens is I just stress myself out and waste like a whole 5 hours, and then it's like, well, I guess now that it's 2 hours until I have to get up, we might as well start doing stuff early. And that's not a way to be. That's not a way to be. So we did get a fair amount of stuff done. I say, knowing that we only really placed Netherrack. And we've still got so much to place. We're going to, once we run out, we are going to have to get more. Unfortunate. That is the bad ending of our little mission here. Like, I could be wrong. I could just be looking at this, but I assume from what I see that we are going to have to get more, actually. And I suppose that's fine, because it gives us an excuse to talk more about random garbage. And it gives us an excuse to, I don't know, just donk around. Waste more time. That's not always a bad thing. It's not always good, but it's not always bad. It is a little weird to be playing this game when I'm not fighting off the urge to nap. We'll see how I feel in an hour. We'll see how I feel in like 10 minutes. I have no faith in myself anymore to stay awake. It's been an uphill battle. In the worst ways. In the worst, and only the worst ways. But yeah, I don't... And the dumb thing is, I don't have any reason to not be able to sleep. It's just, you know... The insomnia has been getting me lately. So that's unfortunate. I don't like that. Because sometimes it does. I'm more used to it being a thing that sometimes happens and you just gotta deal with it for like a night or two. Or if I'm like sick or like feeling ill, sometimes it'll last longer. So I'm not really used to it being a random thing that persists for like for an extended period of time. That's how I was when I was a kid, and that's definitely how some of my family members are. But I've tried really hard to like de-stress and detox from having bad sleep habits. I was a lot more in control prior to college, and a lot more in control, I don't know, at various points in my life, I guess. Right now, I'm not very in control, personally. But, it's fine. I'll probably get over it at some point. And if I don't, then we'll just have a really screwed up sleep schedule and we'll be really tired for an extended period of time. Which is not fun. It's not a very enjoyable prospect to think about. I'm not looking forward to that. But such is life. It is something I have to deal with. It is my burden. It is my burden to carry in this mortal coil. And thus I will do my best to carry it as far as I am able. being said, good things did happen this week too. I finally bought a copy of Super Monkey Ball Jr. It's something I've been intending to do since I was in middle school. And something always came up. There's a bunch of games like that, and like, unfortunately, a bunch of those that where it was like, oh, I saw this in a store and could have bought it on sale, or I could have bought it at its normal price. And now they're like super expensive games, like Boktai 2. Why are you so expensive, Boktai 2? Because some jerk played it on their YouTube channel years ago, and now everybody wants this dumb game. Yeah, I own Boktai 1. I own a fan translation copy of Boktai 3. I have Lunar Nights on the Nintendo DS. I just don't have Boktai 2. I actually lived with a guy who owned a copy of it, and I probably should have just stole his. But that is unethical and immoral and mean. But at the same time, it's like, we never had Boktai conversations, and the reason he brought it up that he had it was because he knew I was like super into Boktai lore, because he saw me reading like a Boktai wiki or the Lunar Nights wiki or TV Tropes on something like that. He was like, oh, you like this game? And it's like, hell yeah. Boktai was my jam. And he's like, yeah, but it sucks playing it in the state we live in. And it's like, yeah, it does. We don't have sunlight most of the time. But still, I enjoyed it. I think what I enjoy more than like, I think I enjoy the world building and also just how it uses a bunch of random, I don't know, it's such a weird game, Boktai. Because on one hand, it's just another Konami vampire game, right? But it's not like Castlevania at all. Because like, on one hand, you do sneak into like vampire lairs and stuff, but that's not the entire game. I don't know. I'm a big Boktai guy. I'm sad that we never got a sequel to Lunar Nights. I feel like, if I remember what I read, like we were supposed to get a sequel on the Wii. And then that never happened. And that's really sad and unfortunate as well. So yeah, I don't know. Of course, there's a fan game, isn't there? There's the Kura 5, is it, or something like that? The Boktai fan game. I followed the developers on Twitter, was it? And also maybe Reddit. Like, they were on various social medias. And I think they still are. I just haven't been following very hard. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep up with stuff if it's not. I don't know. It's been very hard to keep up with stuff as an adult, I guess. Someday, I intend to be better about that. Not today, not tomorrow, but someday. We'll pretend. Okay, so at this point, these planes are fine, right? We haven't missed anything. This is as full up on Netherrack as we need to make it. I mean, I suppose we could fill in the under the river. I suppose that would be an area to go to. Okay. Oh, and I was doing the other side of this? Okay. So I was doing the entire river. That is interesting. And I did buy a digital game for the Switch 2. I bought Deltarune. So, I haven't gotten very far in it. I haven't had any real time to play it. I got far enough to do the Jevil boss fight. I beat him once and then was like, well, you know, I want to keep this save file just so I can just keep playing him and get better at the game. I know, it's It's a silly thing, but I don't know. If there's gonna be a super boss in every chapter, I feel like I might as well practice against the first one, or have the first one loaded up as like a, I guess a practice run. That's kind of insulting to Jevil, but you know, that's what he's there for now. He's my sparring partner. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy the Toby Fox games a lot. They've got a lot of heart. They've got some good mysteries, good lore, fascinating mechanics, and at least with Deltarune, like there's enough new stuff in each chapter where, you know, it doesn't feel boring. So, I don't know, or at least I say that. It's like, I've only played chapter 1, so what am I saying? It doesn't feel boring. I did watch people play chapter 2 though. You know, I am guilty of that. It's not like I'd be going into chapter 2 completely blind. I mean, definitely a lot of things are going to be like, oh yeah, these parts are the boring parts, or they were edited out of videos, or like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of things where it's like, okay, I actually don't know where this is going, or what we're doing here. I guess the question is here, how far do we want to take this? How much do we need to extend this? I don't know. Let me sleep. Let me sleep, please. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. But yeah, one thing I don't like about how I set up my Switch 2 is because I have the same account from the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. I didn't transfer it, I just logged in, I guess you could say. It seems like even if I buy a Switch 2 game, a game that can't be played or loaded on the Switch 1 at all, I'm going to have to connect my the original Switch with the original account, like the first or the primary version of the account, and have that Switch be on so that it will recognize that the Switch 2 is the one that gets the digital game card. That's what it is. Virtual game card, is it? So that's going to be a little obnoxious if I buy a bunch of games on the Nintendo Switch 2. So we'll see. We'll see about that. The nice thing is, if I did decide to transfer it over, it's not like I'm losing anything other than probably my progress. Like, I'm sure I'd lose the Deltarune save file, and that kind of stinks. But that would be everything I lose, I think. I could be wrong. But I feel like that's all that I would be losing, because it's all through my account. So I would have to re-download Deltarune, and that's a small little thing. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the virtual game cards. Like, I feel like, and especially if I'm buying things, like if I buy something on the system, it should be tied to the system. And I know that's how it was before we had accounts and stuff, and it's like, why not just make another Nintendo account and just... God, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Because on one hand, this is a little more flexible and a little more accessible than just having to make a new account every console, every handheld, and not being able to transfer your stuff over, or having to go like all in, all or nothing, you know, transferring your entire like everything. But at the same time, I'm gonna be really annoyed every time. At the same time, though, it's like I'm playing these at home. I'm not buying games when I'm like at work or on a business trip or whatever. I don't go on business trips. Uh, so it's not like I'm in a situation where that's going to be a negative. It's a little obnoxious. And I think that's kind of what I think those are my biggest gripes with like the Switch 2 are like there's going to be a lot of little obnoxious things just because of the way Nintendo chose to do stuff. And I feel like that's kind of every Nintendo generation though. There's always little complaints. Sometimes there's big ones, but I feel like it's usually just a bunch of little stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not explicitly like, oh yeah, Switch 2, best game console ever. But I'm also not one of those people where it's like, and this is why Nintendo's crashing out. Nintendo's failing their consumers. Nintendo hates their fans. And it's like, they don't hate their fans, but they don't necessarily respect us, especially, and here's my big thing. Nintendo is making stuff like for kids, but also like Japanese kids. They don't care about the American kids or the European kids. Like they're glad for your parents' money. But if you're not falling into the demographic of like Japanese child, they probably don't care. And that's fair, you know. Every company's got its demographics. Every company's got its people going through it, combing through it, you know, the metrics. It's all about the metrics, baby. I hate that so much. Companies that run on metrics for no reason don't deserve to exist. Like metrics exist for a reason, you know. It's to measure stuff. It's the numbers that help us know what sells and who's selling it and blah blah blah. But beyond that, it's kind of pointless. It always rubs me the wrong way. Although that might just be an attitude I have because I'm usually the peon. I'm usually the peon who's forced to accommodate the metrics. And that's a frustrating thing when the metrics are dumb or impossible to achieve as one person. Or if they exist solely to enrich like your boss's bosses. I hate metrics. I hate the adherence of, and I guess it's like I'm saying, it's less I hate metrics and it's more I hate the adherence to making sure numbers go up in situations where that's probably not even possible. Or incredibly onerous to a person who's not being paid enough to like go above and beyond. Like if you want above and beyond, you gotta have to pay for it. And that is definitely an attitude I have as a worker, as a human being. Very pro, you're gonna have to make me work for it. Random bosses. This is kind of a bad attitude, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if things were fair, you wouldn't have to have this bad attitude. So, like, whose fault is it really? Justifying being a snotty brat of a person, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not giving a review of the... Well, I mean, I wouldn't be giving a review of the Nintendo Switch 2 anyways, because that's not what we do here. But my feelings about it are, it's a very neat machine. I don't know if... I guess my biggest thing is, and I feel like this, just from the difference of, like, messing around with the, you know, the difference between, like, the Nintendo DS original and the DSi or the 3DS. Like, there's big differences between all three of them. And, like, more so if you just go from the original Nintendo DS to the 3DS, like, holy crap, is that a jump in terms of, like, user interfaces and in terms of, like, the software that's installed directly into the machine? Like, it's wild. And I don't think that the Nintendo Switch 2 really has that big old difference. I know because it's just trying to be like another Switch. Like the Switch brand, the Switch family it's living on very strongly. That's kind of cool. It's kind of nice that like most things are going to be backwards compatible. So I don't know. I that's what I'm excited for, is the backwards compatibility and hopefully the ease of use of, or some sort of ease of use of being able to play a lot of your games without much issue. Like, my biggest thing is if the micro SD cards were bigger and more trustworthy. Like if I could just slap a 1 terabyte micro SD card in my Switch 2, then heck yeah, I would have transferred. I wouldn't have to worry about data sizes or anything. But as long as I can't guarantee that everything I have in my Switch will be on the Switch 2, then that's a nope from me. It's not like I even have that many digital games, but the big thing is I need to keep a significant amount of space just for doing all the Smash Bros. Replays. Because once the card or the system starts to get full, the replays start to get really funky. So I need to always keep like at least, I don't know, a fair amount of like free space on the card. I forget whenever I get close to filling it though, and then I have to buy a new one. I've had to do that 2 or 3 times, and I always forget, and then it's like, man, why are these videos like crap now? If you ever see one of my Smash Bros. Replays and like it's stuttery, that's probably all it is. It's probably just the memory card started getting full while I was playing that fighter. And I didn't even think about it until like I started realizing. The weird thing is, I usually won't notice that it's filling up until it literally tells me like I can't make any more like anything, period. But I will notice one very specific thing is certain stages will stop, and it's not like playing them stops, it's the replay. It won't be able to turn a replay into a video. And Dracula's Castle is the one for me. So whenever I can't make fights with Dracula's Castle as the stage turn into videos, I know my card's getting full. And that's a really weird and specific thing, but it's something I found while making thousands upon thousands of Smash Bros. Fights. Hooray. I'd actually like to get up there. But I also don't wanna grab stuff. So maybe we'll do it this way. I mean, it's not sand, but it's not stone, so it's fine. But yeah, it's really weird. I don't know, like, I spent that like first week with the Nintendo Switch 2 like looking up settings and stuff and just seeing like just like the optimal settings for like recording and stuff. And now I get a bunch of videos on YouTube where it's like just this, it's specifically like 2 or 3 guys who just like shit on the Switch 2 and Nintendo constantly, and it's like, why even care? You don't have to do this. And it's like, I get why they do it. Like, they get hundreds of thousands of views to do this stuff. Like, that's your job. But I don't understand it. Like, granted, I'm also kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Weird choices abound. It gets harder and harder to defend. And I don't know. It's not like it gets harder and harder to defend Nintendo the older I get. And it's like sometimes they make choices where it's like, yeah, as a person who lives a life of convenience and luxury and can't handle anything going against my expectations, like, I totally understand, like, why people would be frustrated with a lot of the things Nintendo does. At the same time, it's not like Nintendo's a singular entity with a mind that makes choices. It's a company that is controlled by multiple different like factors. You know, you got your CEO. You got your very experienced, very prestigious devs. You know, you got your Miyamotos and whatnot, and then you've got the board, which doesn't really control what Nintendo does, but Nintendo still has to impress them every quarter or every year or whatever. So, I don't know. Like, it's definitely a shame that they are moving away from a dedication to their own products. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of the usual arrogance from like the Nintendo people, though. They're and it's hard to tell it. It's hard to call it ignorant or like arrogance if all we're seeing is like the Nintendo of America people. Because it's really what are the Nintendo of Japan people doing? And what are they saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, considering that the Nintendo Switch in Japan was a lot cheaper, like, if you want to complain about the high prices of stuff, some of that is entirely on the American political system. And a certain presidential actor doing tariffs because that's the only way he can control the economy. Because he has to control the economy somehow. Even though it would probably be better if he didn't. I don't know, that's wild to me. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of factors. And like, it sucks that games are going to be more expensive. It also sucks that games are going to be more expensive, and a significant amount of them this time are not going to be physical games. They're going to be like game card codes or whatever. Key card games. So that sucks. At the same time, it's like, yeah, and if devs release games on the keycards, I just won't buy them. Same thing with codes and box. I won't buy them. That's fine. If I have to have a game and you do it, then I'll buy it on Steam. I'll buy it on the Xbox. I'll buy it on the PS5. I will not buy it on you're freaking on the Switch if this is how you're gonna be. And it sucks that, like, the way it sounds, that is a Nintendo thing where they've pretty much said to developers, you can either have a card with basically no memory space, or you can have or you're gonna have to pay for the biggest of the Nintendo Switch cards. The Nintendo Switch had multiple sizes, and the Switch 2 basically has the two. It has the no size, and it has the 64 gig size. So, that's interesting. I really don't want to continue too far, but I feel like we should at least go... I don't know. Yeah, to about where that thing explodes, maybe. That would probably be fine. I don't know. I don't want to cut down more trees. I don't want to cut down more trees. Let's see if we have an axe or two. Maybe we'll see if we have some flint and steel. Yeah, those are kind of my feelings about the Switch 2 so far. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. Like, it's not a bad little thingy. And if it was your first, like, Nintendo console, like, that's great. I think it would be a very good one for anybody, for a kid. It's definitely kind of a neat machine. I appreciate the little magnet clicks. I guess my feelings on it though are much like the original Nintendo Switch. I feel like if you drop it or throw it around, it is going to be smashed. Just ruined. And as someone who remembers like the Game Boy days where you could like throw Game Boys around and not have to worry about them or care about them too much, like it's sad to see that change. It really is. I miss the days of Nintendo consoles being robust. And it's not like if you drop the Nintendo Switch, it'll just instantly die and never come back. I mean, I'm sure it's a bit tougher than that, but what am I saying? I know the original Switch is tougher than that. I dropped mine like 4 times. I dropped it so many times I broke off the little like grady part above the fan. And some of the screws popped out, like the ones that are like on the top and bottom. So yeah, that's my Nintendo Switch 1. I've been meaning to put it into a different kind of casing, but one of the screws on it is stripped, and it's like that's my fault. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to deal with that. If I ever figure out a way to deal with that, then yeah, I've got the casing actually. It's an atomic purple one. Had to buy the front and back separately, which is super stupid, but you know what? Oh well. I do love the atomic purple casing. My first console wasn't the N64, but my first personal console was. So the atomic purple controller that came with N64s has like burned itself into my brain of like, this is what we should aspire to and what we should want to possess. And this is the height of game console and game accessory development. Atomic purple accessories. Kind of looks like a boat. It's a little too like uniform and long though. Oh well. So yeah, I don't know. I hope this doesn't sound like I'm complaining too much about the Switch 2 because like I bought it specifically because I honestly bought it mostly because I wasn't expecting to get a pre-order. And when I did, it's like, okay, we'll see. They keep saying Walmart's canceling theirs. We'll see how this goes. And it was a pretty good experience. Yeah. Like Walmart sent it out day of. It arrived literally like half an hour later when I was asleep in the morning. So yeah, I don't know. Not the worst video game console launch. I don't. A far better experience than my Steam Deck, by far. Had to wait in a queue forever, had to... Well, first you had to sign up to be on the wait list, and then they emailed you, and then there was a queue, and then there was actually buying one, and then having to wait even more time to actually get it. I appreciate the Steam Deck for what it is, though. And I think I'm going to feel the same way about the Switch 2, is I'm going to appreciate it for what it does. I'm going to definitely have issues with certain things. And there's definitely going to be cases where it's like, yeah, but I wish you did it differently. And that's fine. Like, everybody's got their own use case, you know? And everybody's got their own things that are, like, necessary and things that would be, like, quality of life for them. So we're not all going to be happy with the same console. I think it's really scummy that there were people complaining about it before it even released. Like, let the darn thing walk before you try to cripple it, you know? At the same time, like, this is definitely a very not anti-consumer, but very like pro getting money from consumers. So we'll see. Like, I remember the days of like Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt being included with the NES, or Wii Sports being included with the Wii. The original version of the Nintendo DS came with a Metroid Prime Hunters demo. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And it's always weird, it's always interesting because, like, in the case of Wii Sports, like, Nintendo didn't want to do that until, like, what was it? Was it Reggie who told them they should? That they'd sell more if they included it for free? And that was the right call. And like, I know a lot of people are clowning on Nintendo for the, what's a software that's like their Switch 2 test software? I don't remember. I'm not buying it. I'm not playing it. I'm not gonna feel bad about that. But, yeah, they kind of do deserve to be clowned on for like including a software that's specifically to get people caught up with like the new features of the Switch 2, and then making people pay like, what is it, $10 for it? Like, that's funny. And not in a ha-ha way, this then a like, I mean, why would you do that kind of way? So, I don't know. I don't really have strong feelings for or against. I got the pre-order because I didn't know if I would be able to, and then I did, and that was kind of neat. Also, I did like the idea of being able to play Switch games, but better. You know, I'm excited to actually play some of the games I've owned for a few years that I haven't gotten around to actually popping them into a Nintendo Switch on the Switch 2. That'd be cool. Like, consistent frame rates, consistent... like, a better gameplay experience, like, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I don't have save files I want to transfer over, like, I don't care. The only 3 games that actually care about their save files on my Switch are Minecraft, Smash Bros, and Animal Crossing. And even then, like, with Smash Bros, it's just so I don't lose all the progress I've made in playing every fighter against each other. That's it. If I reach a point where, like, before I'm done playing these games the way I want to, my original Switch dies, then I'd probably be really sad about that, in all honesty. And I guess that's, like, big picture why you'd probably want to transfer a Nintendo Switch account, is just to keep it alive a little bit longer. Granted, I don't think the Nintendo Switch has a super short, like, life, but you never know. Things happen, and certain machines have shorter lives than others, so I don't know, I guess keep an eye out for that. Like, there's always dumb quirks about things when it's like new technology. And every novel console or handheld is going to be open to that. Because they all are pretty novel, especially the handhelds. Because you gotta shove all that stuff that allows you to play games and keep a system alive while it's playing games into a little itty bitty thing. So, I don't know. I'm always amazed like how far we've gotten with video game handheld just in my lifetime. We didn't even have no, that's not correct. When I was born, we had Game & Watches and those and other LCD games. And then we've gone from that to like Game Boys and Game Gears to Nintendo DS's and PSPs to the Nintendo Switch. Like that's wild. Within my lifetime, we've gone from liquid crystal display games to having OLED game screens. Like, that's wild. That's wild. I don't know. When it comes to video games and like the way the technology's evolved, like I very much feel like somebody who saw airplanes fly and now like what, 15 years later, 10 years later, 20 or 30 years later, we're on the moon. Like, oh my goodness. It's an exciting time. And if they ever made VR more accessible, like, I'd feel the same way about VR though. Like, that's a technology that first came out when I was very young, or probably might be older than me. And now we've got not quite realistic environments, but like we're getting closer every day. Or every time a new VR system comes out, I don't know. So, on one hand, that's something I'd always like to try, but I don't want to put the money down because I wear glasses. I wear glasses all the time. I'm a glasses guy. So I'd want to know, like, will this work with my glasses? Will this work? Can I wear it with my glasses on? And I don't get out much, so it's not like I have access to actually test this stuff. And why put down like $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 on a VR thing if you don't even know? Especially if you don't know if it'll make you sick. Like I would like to test it out in real life, and then get a feel for it. But it's something I am very interested in. It looks cool. It looks pretty fun. There's always more stuff to do and more stuff to like be interested in. I think that's kind of one of my favorite parts about the video game scene is like there's just so many games, there's so many devs, so many ideas, and like a lot of it is like rehashing each other. Like there's always cannibalism of like ideas, but that's not always a bad thing. Like Rayman, Mario, Sonic are all like 2D side-scrollery games, you know? But they're all very different takes on it. So that's not a bad thing when you have people taking an idea and trying to make it fit their own vision or trying to make it better. It's a very cool thing. Oh yeah, any games you guys are excited for coming out soon? I am interested in the Donkey Kong game coming out in July. I'm very interested in the Off remake coming out. I'm interested in that. That may be a day one purchase for me. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I played Off before on an HP notebook. It was like one of the few games that would actually work on that stupid thing. Oh, that was a weird summer. I took an HP notebook out of my roommate's garbage. And apparently it was one of their old roommates like things, and they were gonna get rid of it because it didn't work. And I got it working, and I played games on it for a summer, and then its hard drive died. So, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like I could probably open it up and take out the hard drive, but I don't actually know. I'm not actually sure. Some of those machines are really weird with like really dumb proprietary parts. Which is something like I understand why you'd do it. Like if you're making something in a specific size that's like smaller than anything else that exists or bigger, then of course, or if you just want to be a jerk and have like have a patent or a trademark on something, you know, you make your own parts for it. And you sue people who try to do the exact same thing or who mess with your own machines. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I probably should see if I can repair that thing. It's just sitting in a drawer somewhere, probably. In my room. Yeah, HP notebooks. Or at least the ones I've experienced are like the weirdest machines because like they're not really like they're laptops, but they're like they have like no storage and they have no RAM and they're slow as crap. Like, I don't know. They're not enjoyable machines to use if you have to. And I know they're supposed to be like kind of cheap so that younger people can like own them and like take notes on them for like school and stuff. But like, I don't know. I feel like I've been spoiled with the with some of my Apple products. Like, I expect when I hit the power button, this thing is fully booted within less than a minute. The faster it boots, the better. And I say this as someone where it wasn't that long ago where my main iMac computer, literally I would turn it on, like prepare dinner and come back and then it would finally be ready for me to do anything on. I am not even kidding. It would take like 15 minutes to fully boot up and be ready to do anything on. It couldn't even play Minecraft. Did play Undertale on it though once, so that was neat. That was an experience. A little surprised it could handle that. On one hand, like, I'm not, because Undertale isn't really like that intensive of a game, but like on the other hand, it's like I am surprised it could actually. That computer could barely do, and I say it could barely do anything. It rendered videos like a pro. Sure, it took all day to make a 3-hour video. But you know, it did its best. It did its best until it couldn't anymore. Someday I'll replace its motherboard and we'll have the 2009 iMac in lineup again. I don't know what it'll be able to do. I'm gonna turn it on and it's not gonna be able to do jack squat. It's not gonna be able to run Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox. It's just gonna be a machine that can't access the internet at all. The amount of websites it can use are approximately 10% of available websites. Oh well. Someday. I'm having fun ripping into that machine. But it's done out of love. I really did get a lot of use out of that machine. The good old 2009 iMac. That was probably one of my better purchases. Bought it for like $116 on eBay when I was unemployed one summer. And then it proceeded to carry me when my MacBook Pro died. And then I did eventually get around to replacing the hard drive of the Mac. Well, it wasn't originally. So I replaced the hard drive of the MacBook Pro. And then I had to replace the disk drive, because that also kind of crapped out. And at some point I really should replace the motherboard on that guy as well, because it does have like a chip issue where it thinks it's like burning up when it's not, so it'll reset constantly, and that's no fun. Because that also, I'm pretty sure that's why the hard drive died the second time, was because it just kept doing that. And it's like, that's no good. But I don't know. I'm very fond of my dumb Mac computers. Like, I hate Apple, and I hate their computers so much. But I use them, and I'm fond of the ones I've owned. Because, like, if you use an Apple product long enough, it does develop some... They all develop their own personal quirks. And that's just how they are, because everything's just stuffed in there, and you can't often remove it, so it's just how it is. Welcome to the fun zone. You have a computer that will randomly decide it doesn't have enough, it doesn't have the brain power. So you're gonna have to wait a while. Or you've got a computer that can't do anything if it doesn't feel like it. And you never know when it's gonna feel like it or not. Used it all day for a whole week, it's fine. Randomly wanted to use it on a random day, not fine. I don't know. And the 2009 one was also kind of funky in certain ways when I first got it all set up, because its backup was literally, it was just backed up from my MacBook Pro. So it kind of like acted like it had MacBook Pro software sometimes, and it was like, I don't know, it was a little funky. And like that gradually like petered out, and I don't know if that's like something that's exists in like Apple software where like if stuff on the computer doesn't actually like work, it just gets discarded. I don't know. But I remember, and this might just be me making it up, I might be making a myth about my computer, but I feel like when I was first like using it, it was very different to how it was later. So I don't know. That could be a thing, that could not be a thing. I think the real gist of everything is I'm smart enough to know how to replace hard drives of like a MacBook or an iMac. But I don't really know all the terminology, and I don't really know the science behind the whys and the hows of like computers. I wish I did. I wish I knew more of that stuff, because it's fascinating. It's really cool how we made rocks learn how to do stuff for us. Like, going from computers are literally like beads on rods that we move around, you know, the acabus, to like things that are like gears and whatever, like the what's it called? The Antikythera mechanism, that cool computer thing they found on a shipwreck off the Sea of Greece. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. I don't know, that's just, there's a lot of cool stories about stuff. Yeah, we literally tricked rocks into thinking for us. That's pretty cool. A little weird. Well, you know, it's no more weird than anything else is, really. We're gonna be honest. I think that's about where we'll call it goodsies. Maybe. I don't know. Like, we could just keep going, but that seems kind of pointless. Why aren't you disappearing? Oh, because there's wood trapped inside you. Oh boy, look at all that wood. Would you look at that? Not funny, but you know, well, I'll laugh anyways. I'll have a chuckle at that thing. And then the real question is, did we get all the wood? I don't believe we did, because I'm not seeing this thing, this horrible mass of leaves, just... Oh, now it's starting to disappear. Okay. Maybe now it will fade away. Hooray. Victory assured. But yeah, I'm tired. That's what I am. I need a vacation from my life. I need a vacation from the country I live in. I need a vacation from humanity in general. I think that's what I need. I think that would work. That would be very nice and kind. Very appreciated. I'm gonna run to the store and get myself some ice cream, I think. I'm just gonna walk. Let it melt before I even get back home. We'll make a day of it. We'll make a nice little cute day of it. Going to the store, buying stuff, having fun. Okay. I think we're gonna continue this, and then we're going to find a new spot to use up our netherrack, and then once we used up all our netherrack, we're going to probably make sure we've got supplies and go back, and I don't want to mine anymore. I wanted to be done mining. I'm not a miner anymore. I'm a man. Oh well. There we go. Oh, okay, little fishy. So how much? We don't have that much netherrack left. Like, on one hand, it is a fair amount, and I think we still have more in the chest, but we don't really have that much terribly left. So that's good. We're reaching an end point. A stopping point. At the same time, we're getting a lot of this stuff done, aren't we? I feel like this side and the other side are done. So honestly, if we can get... Alright, I hear someone. I don't know where they are. Probably underground. Probably some lurker. Some fool, some freak. Hungry for my blood. Yeah, if we figured out what we want to do with this stuff, and we might just leave this stuff like this. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to... I mean, ideally, since we did fill in some of it, we should fill in all of it. But I don't really want to. That doesn't seem very fun to me. It's fine if we have some spots that are natural world, right? Oh, we're out of food. I mean, we're not, but I am. I'm a hungry guy. What can I say? And then there was no new chapter of One Piece this week as well, so that kind of stinks. I was excited to see if I'd continue riding the wave of I don't really like where this is going, or if I was gonna ride the wave of actually this is Oda knows how to write. I'm back on. This is hype. I don't know. Usually, most of the time, I'm not one of the people who's like, yeah, I don't like this. This is a bad choice. But I definitely felt it a little bit on the chapter before the last chapter. Because it just felt like too much was happening real fast, and it seemed less like, oh yeah, this was always planned. And it's like, well, we gotta do something with these characters, so... we're gonna do it anyways. Get ready, readers. It's gonna get wild. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Feel like the last time I felt that way though was with Gear 5. That was kind of a weird thing. But then you get used to it and it's like, okay. This was always actually just a dumb pirate adventure comedy series, so you know what? Okay. I accept this. It's how it was always supposed to be, wasn't it? Stretchy boy, clowning on people. Never forget. Never forgetting his first fight with Buggy. Luppi kicked him in the balls. And that is a One Piece fact. If we have wood, I need to make more axes. We need more axes. Hey, it's been an hour. And have I yawned at all? I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't actually know. There we go. One for you guys. The dumb thing is, that's gonna make me yawn a lot more. I shouldn't have done that. All I have is regret. And then what we actually want is more... There we go. And then what we actually want is more of these. Really? Oh, because we don't have sticks. That's why. Okay. Works for me. And then that was a dumb choice to make because I actually don't have the required space in the chest for that, do I? Well, I mean, we do have space in one chest. But, do I want to go... I mean, it's fine. It's fine either way. If we cut down these trees and still have axes left, then we will put them upstairs in the ship. That's how we'll do that. That's how that's gotta go. And then hopefully we knock out this little bit. And we figure out what we're gonna be doing. Like, honestly, if this wasn't such a big thing, there's a part of me that would be kind of willing just to go around. But it kind of opens up. It's kind of not... Yeah, we're swimming. Deal with it. But yeah, it kind of opens up all the way around here, and I'm not making this whole area be a netherrackable, you know? It's fine. So yeah, we'll figure out a good stopping point. 'Cause I really don't wanna... Okay, that was just me splashing around on sand, right? Because, like, when it comes to these woods, there's always a chance that creepers could be lurking. I don't want to be exploded. Definitely not one of my favorite pastimes. Definitely not something I want to do. And did I mention this last time? But one of the cute little like teen romance mangas I'm reading is getting an English translation and getting released stateside. The English translation is Akira Failing in Love. There we go. Akira Failing in Love. And it's about this girl named Akira who is desperately trying to tell her crush that she's into him, you know, that she loves him, that she wants to go on dates and stuff. And she screws it up pretty bad every time. And some of it's like her love interest, who is the actual like main character. He has like no self-worth at all. But he's kind of a good guy, you know? He's a decent fellow. He has no self-worth, and he doesn't really... he also is into her too, so that's the real humor of it all. From our perspective as readers, we know both of these ding-dongs are into each other, and if either one of them could just pull their head out of their butt and just do the thing, just say the thing, just say, hey, you want to hang out, hey, I'm into you, hey, I like you, then there would be no plot. And that's fine by me because, like, they don't really angst about it like a, you know, a usual teen romance series would. They both are kind of like little plucky kids, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see people who are just living their lives the best they can. But yeah, it's definitely worth it just to read for all the horrible, all the ways things go awry. Like one time Akira tries to like set up a situation where she can like cover the main guy's eyes and like be like peekaboo or whatever, or like guess who? And she like grabs him and throws him down. Like it's wild. And also every chapter most chapters start with a little anecdote about what living in rural Japan is like. That's kind of cool too. It's a really weird like hook, I guess, for every chapter, but it's kind of neat. I definitely like that more than the series where like every chapter it has to reintroduce all the characters again. I don't know, there was a series I read when I was younger that was like that, where every chapter all the characters got their stupid little boxes that described who they were. I don't know. Bizarre stuff. I enjoy a work of fiction that appreciates that maybe real people too can have brains and actually think and remember stuff. I like that sometimes. You know, sometimes as someone who doesn't really believe in human agency and human capabilities, it is nice to have an author that actually respects that the readers might actually be people who can do stuff and remember stuff and are capable of things. Yeah. What was that series called? It was Essay. There we go. I don't remember the Japanese name because I'm sure that's what essay stood for. It was some sort of Japanese word or whatever. Or maybe it was like Super A or Special A. I don't remember. It was basically about a bunch of kids who were like the smartest kids in their school or whatever. I never finished it. I probably should. I should go back and finish the whole dang thing. Like, it was neat. It's just like it's also one of those where it's like there's a fair amount of like the typical teen angst. And as somebody who's kind of grown out of that phase in my life, and honestly never really had much of a rebellious phase or a teen angst phase, like I don't really identify strongly with it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend Essay to you guys. Like, I enjoyed it when I was reading it, but I never really finished it, so don't know. But I hope I can finish One Piece. I hope One Piece some way, somehow does get finished. That'd be great. I don't want to live in the timeline where I don't get to. I've been reading One Piece since I was what, 11, 10, 12, somewhere in there. And now in my 30s, I'll never get, or in my 40s or 50s, I'll never get to be able to experience. Wait. Why are there two beds? Okay. I gotcha. That is actually my bed. But it's like a ghost bed. Yeah. It was a ghost bed. Weird. Okay. Now that we've cleared that up, now that we understand what that is all about. It's called Getting Rid of the Swamp. Stay out of my swamp. so I can turn it into a hell zone. Gotta love ambiance. Gotta love it all. Okay, I don't... I don't know. I know we should be definitely placing a lot more netherrack than we are. But also, we're dealing with trees. We're dealing with stuff. It's fine. I'm not gonna get rid of all the axes, but I'll get rid of half of them. So they're not clogging up my inventory anymore. And if I can get up here in a way where I don't have to worry about it. I do have to worry about it. I always have to worry about it. It's not fair. It's such a long climb. It's such a slow, long climb. And I have to make sure I'm paying attention, otherwise I fall. That's something we should do. We should get some glass up here and make this a little more safe. Would that be safety glass? You don't have to laugh. You can make fun of me. Where did I put the beds? We had beds up here, right? Oh, or did I take the only one we had? Okay. That's probably what I did. I feel like that's familiar to me. That's probably fair, right? That's probably okay. And then... I hear someone moving around. That's interesting. Okay. That's better. How do I get out of here? Right there. There we go. I was a little turned around. Whoop. Falling to my doom. Falling to my doom. So now at this point, I feel like it's really just the front of everything, and then deciding how we're gonna fill up the edges and maybe filling up the river areas. So we shouldn't need... I say we shouldn't need. We're going to need a whole nother set of 5 chests full of netherrack, aren't we? Okay. Whatever. It's fine. We're doing our best. So if we want to use up what we got, and let's see if we've actually got, because I don't know how much we've got left in the chest. Like if we can just pull everything out right now, then that would be great. And then we can resolve to use up all we've got, and end the video once we've used up all our netherrack finally. Because yeah, that's just mystery stuff. That's empty, empty, empty. And a little bit left. Not very much. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to get a sip of water. And then we are going to place netherrack where we can. And we're going to use up our netherrack. And that'll be today. Hooray. I went with 2 sips. Okay. Now No, I don't mean to do that. Let me get situated again. Let me get in my silent sack. Okay. Alrighty, now I'm feeling a bit better. My throat is not as dry. Which it is very dry because I'm pretty sure it's just the lack of sleep. The very tiredness. You know, your whole body isn't in peak form when you when you're not fully rested. Yep. And I have been treating I've been allowing my body to treat me like a punching bag the entire week. And that's no good. I don't even want to do that, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't know how... Oh yeah, we want to go kind of like all the way up to there. That makes sense. That seems fair. That seems right. As long as we don't curl around it, so we have to then cover it with a netherrack and continue expanding. That would be awful. Let's see if the beds... Let's see if we get another ghost bed. Of course, when I want to eat something, we sleep instantly. Okay, so that time it just went back into the old inventory. Okay. And then I've been watching... what was it that I've been watching? I've been watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I read the manga before, and I kind of dropped it because it was just kind of... It wasn't really my personal flavor of, like, slice of life stuff, I guess. I've read other stuff by the same author. Like Ojojo is a weird, neat little manga. And I'm pretty sure there's a few other ones where I'm just blanking on their names, but if I ever were to think about them, I'd be like, oh yeah, I read that. It's okay. It was an enjoyable ride, you know. But yeah, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I don't know, I feel like my biggest thing with it is as an adult in the United States. I think it's weird, some of the situations they place the children in. I guess that's kind of my feelings. It's just like, it's fine to have fictional creatures with their own like fictional ways of being and views of like morality and whatever. It's a little weird to put human children in having to deal with beings like that though. I don't know. I think that's the only real thing I had against it. And even then, like most of the time, it's not like it's perverse or anything. It's not like it's all about, you know, like supernatural beings like kidnapping kids or eating kids or enslaving kids, but there is a lot of teasing. And some of it is decidedly not wholesome, so like your mileage may vary. And it kind of sucks because like it is a very cute, fairly wholesome show other than like and manga. It is a fairly wholesome thing other than like these very specific things that are just like kind of a little bit too far almost. Or like it's not even that they're too far, it's just like they're really specific and kind of weird. So like they stick out. So yeah, that's my feelings on the Dragon Maid show. Like, it's enjoyable, it's pretty cute, but it's also got some parts of it that are a little rub me the wrong way. There we go. And I mean, everything's gonna have that, but I don't know. I don't know. little different when you've got like what, a kindergartner kid like literally squealing every time her dragon crush like acknowledges her. And like that's not perverse or anything, it's just it's weird. It's a little weird. And maybe that's just like my viewpoint as a person where I remember when I was a kid. You know, there's two kinds of kids. There are those that are not bothered by people knowing their crushes, and there are those that like if you told everyone they had a crush on someone, they'd cry. Like that's kind of what I expect from kids. So I don't know. I think in general though, like fiction people who write fiction, people who write fictional children generally don't do a good job of it. like I think it says a lot that Yotsuba and is one of the few series where like the kids actually feel kind of like kids. Because they're kind of jerky, they're kind of just, but they're not like super malicious about it. They're just, you know, they're just operating on kid logic and their kid understanding of the world. Sometimes that does need to be corrected by adults, and sometimes, you know, the adults can just play off it and just, you know, continue having fun. I love Yotsuba and that's a series I wish got an ending. That's a series that I wish, you know, I don't know. Like, it's wild to go from the author's work of, like, Azumanga Daioh, 4 volumes. Seems like it's a lot longer, but, you know, 4 volumes. To, Yotsuba and, like, what, 15 or 16 volumes over, what? Almost 20 years at this point. Is it on hiatus? Is it canceled? Is it ended? Like, who knows? Maybe we'll get another volume someday. Maybe volume 16 is already out in Japan. Maybe it's already out in the US and I just haven't been paying attention. You never know. I'm gonna be really mad if there are more volumes in English, though. I'm gonna be really mad that I wasn't paying attention. I say that, but it's like, you know what, we'll buy them anyways, and we'll be really happy about it. We'll be really happy to spend an afternoon just reading some Yotsuba. That's kind of make me want to, like, reread Azumanga Daioh. That's always a dangerous thing to do. Rereading series. Spend an afternoon reading one, and then you keep pulling out more volumes of different series, and before you know it, you've wasted a whole week reading manga you haven't read since high school. Oh well. You only live once, so you might as well do things you enjoy, right? Gotta carve out time to spread your legs and spread your arms and relax and just put up your feet and do something you enjoy. You don't have to be so tightly wound all the time. At the beck and call of, like, the freaking alarm, you know? That's kind of my wish, to live a life where I don't have to pay attention to, like, alarms anymore. No deadlines, no alarms, just doing what I want. Is that responsible? Not really. Is it just a personal little wish, though? Yeah. Yeah. And then I did also end up watching the new Netflix documentary on the Ocean Gate Titan submersible. I was playing Smash Bros. While, or was it Animal Crossing? I was playing one of the games while watching it. So I didn't really, like, absorb everything, but I didn't really understand why, or, like, if it was groundbreaking or not, because it seemed like it was just talking about stuff that, like, if you followed the Ocean Gate stuff, then it doesn't seem like it's new information. But, I don't know. I try not to follow stuff like that because it's like I don't want to be such a morbid person. But it's really hard not to sometimes. Like the Ocean Gate thing, the Ocean Gate Titan has kind of become an obsession of mine, unfortunately. Like it's kind of like the Titanic too, though. The Titanic's another thing. Like I'll go years without thinking about it or reading anything about it or watching anything about it. But then, you know, something happens, and I also watched all the documentaries about the Titanic on Disney Plus, of which there were three. That also had a lot of the same footage because they were all like National Geographic ones. So, I mean, that's not bad. Like, hopefully the professional like people who were like in them and gave sound bites for these documentaries get paid every time somebody views it, or every time somebody like I don't know how those royalty checks like go out, but hopefully those people are making a little bit money. Hopefully they're getting paid for each documentary they're in, not just like the one appearance for the one time they were filmed, you know. Yeah, the Titanic stuff is wild because I never really thought about like just the force of this ship sinking like over 2 miles. Like when you think about the physics of it, like yeah, you have the ship that weighs tons. It's literally gliding down through the water at high speeds. The only thing slowing this thing down is literally the friction of, not even the friction, but like the force of the water that it's flowing against. Like, that's wild to think about. And it's like, yeah, it slammed into the ocean floor, the front, the bow, the front slammed into the ocean floor and was embedded in it pretty deep, and then the stern just like slammed into it, just like belly flopped into the ocean floor and collapsed completely. Like all the floors, all the decks like collapsed, and the greatest space in between them is like, what was it, 30 centimeters? That's also pretty wild. Where you had this big old ship where people could literally walk on and live in. And now, like, the greatest space that you could fit anything through is like 30 centimeters. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the Titanic is definitely something I'm very fascinated in. And it might just be like, you know, it wasn't that long before I was born that they found it. That was 1985, right? 84, 86, 80, I think it was 85. And then the Titanic fever came back with the movie. And that was... when was that? Like 1999, 2000, 1998? Like something in there. It was when I was really young. I remember being able to find books about the Titanic like everywhere for a little bit, like little memorial model Titanics and bottles with like in memoriam of a random person on the bottom. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing you could find in stores all the time. It's weird that we did that with the Titanic. And like, what about something like that for like 9/11? Where you have like the Twin Towers on a little model. And then underneath that, like on the bottom, like in memoriam for a random person who died because of the 9/11. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of in bad taste, or is it? I don't know. I don't have any idea. Because it's weird, because I know I own one of those Titanics that's in memoriam. It was a little keychain. So I don't know if it's in bad taste or not. I mean, it's probably in bad taste to allow a child to own this object that they're going to play with instead of, like, treat it with any sort of respect or reverence, because it's literally meant to be a memento of this horrible, like, event and of the loss of a human life, of which almost, like, nearly 2,000 people died because of it, right? Or was it 1,500? 1,500, 1,400, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's just it's a lot of people. Some of who, also thinking about, like, just the whole situation is mind-boggling with the Titanic. Because you go from, like, everybody just having a normal night to, things getting real terrible real quick. And, like, that sucks. And just the ways people would have died, like, they would have either been trapped on the ship and drowned when it sunk, or they would have frozen to death in the Arctic Ocean, or even better, they would have been exposed to the Arctic Ocean, but then had a heart attack or went into shock when they went into the cold water. And also remember, the entire time, like, it was a moonless night, so there was no light. So you're in the dark, and water that's colder than you could imagine. So cold your body's shutting down as you're in it, within minutes, seconds. Surrounded by thousands of other, like, at least 1,000 other people, like, that's wild. And I know that's not really the case, like, there's only a few hundred people who weren't on the ship. But still, it's like, that's wild. That's wild. It's so mind-bogglingly terrible. I don't know. It's definitely something that, like, sticks in my craw. Like, trying to imagine just, like, that situation. Not even in a morbid way, but just in a, like, how do you come back from that as somebody who survived? How do you... I don't know. Okay, we have filled up our inventory. We need to figure out a place to put stuff better, though, so that we have room in our inventory. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Do I have anything that's food that is a decent amount? I do not. I have a bunch of random things, but I do not have a good amount of good food. So, I hear twomps, but I don't see them. And that's a bit concerning. I'm sure they're just underground. I'm sure there's some sort of dumb underground chamber under all this garbage. That's fair. That's fine. And next time we will begin mining Netherrack again. And that'll be our chore for the next 2 or 3 videos, I guess. And then we'll go back to doing this. And hopefully by then we're done. Hopefully we're done with this. Like, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've definitely cleared out a lot of stuff, but I guess I underestimated how much more Netherrack it would take. Or rather, it's less I underestimated, and it's more like I just didn't want to believe we'd have to do this again. Hey, llamas, how are you? Boop. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah? What are you gonna do about it? Oh, were you only gonna hit me the one time? Okay. I wish you'd hold a grudge. Coward. I don't know why I'm trying to pick fights with llamas. Probably I'm just very bored. Very bored and a little mean. Where? Okay, I see my ship. But honestly, we should see how much black wool we got. And if we have a bunch of it, we should collect that and bring that back to the ship as well. Oh wow, little bloopers, hooray. Yeah, I think with the Titanic, what really gets me is like any sort of knowledge about like the numbers involved of like people, lifeboats, the time. Like, I don't know. Like they always talk about like, well, if we had more lifeboats, but like honestly, they didn't even have time to get all the 20 lifeboats they had out. They wouldn't have had time to get 40 lifeboats out, definitely. And while you could say, like, well, you know, we just, I don't know. Like, it's one of those situations where, you know, you don't want to be all negative about it, but at the same time, it's not like being positive is going to change anything. And that sucks. Because it's like, it was a massive amount of lives lost. In, like, incredibly horrible ways. Like, whether they were people who froze to death floating in the ocean, or were dragged under with the ship, or dragged under because of the ship sinking, or because of the ship falling apart. Like, I don't know. What am I looking for? I'm looking for wool and food. That's it. Food. Oh, we got carrots. That works for me. I'm fine with that. Who needs apples when we can have carrots? Oh, we got golden apple. Neat. And do we have wool? I don't see any. Unfortunate. Do we have shears? I don't see them. Where's my snip snips? Where's my clip clips? Oh, you know what? I know what we did with them, actually. I'm, once again, assuming the position of a silly, silly guy. But yeah, I remember. We actually stuck everything right in here. Because I'm on top of things. Kinda. Yeah, look at these guys. Various shades of wool. Okay, looks like we've done all these guys. So let's, we might as well steal their wool and get the heck out of here. We got food. Hey, friend. Oh, you can hit me through that. Okay. How about you stop? And then, yeah, buddy. You get clipped, you get clipped, you get clipped. Everybody gets a clip, clip, clip. You get clipped, you get clipped. Give me your wool. Give me your shells. Oh, already. And that's it for, oh hey, there's another guy. And then if we want to have a lot of black wool, we're gonna have to, well, we might as well deal with these guys. They're here. We might as well deal with them while we're here. Okay, and then what else do we need to do? What else do we want to do? There goes slime ball. Got one black wool piece. Okay. A lot of various gray pieces. Did I ever put the wool anywhere special? I don't think so. I don't think we have a wool chest. Unless, was there wool in that one and I just ignored it? There is. We have a crap ton of white wool. Fascinating. Utterly beautiful. Love to see it. Now we just have to slay a bunch of bloopers and oh hey, you can swim. That's cool. Hey buddy, you're what I'm looking for. Did you know that? You're not what I'm looking for at all. But I'll take your XP anyways. And where are more bloopers? Come on, buddies. I need your ink sacs. Look at that. They're all up in the open ocean. We got some more. And that's me. As long as numbers increase, I'm happy. Wow, where'd all the bloopers go? Where's everybody? That's kind of neat, actually. And there we reach the continental shelf. You can see the difference between the depths of the sea floor and the continental shelf floor. It's the difference between a few hundred feet of water to the bottom of the floor, of the sea floor, to a few thousand, couple of miles, you know. Where's the rest of the... Oh, there's one. There's a bunch of them, actually. Come on. Nice. Not that we're being nice, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. So we're gonna go under this thing. We're gonna grab these guys. Hopefully. Oh, it sounds like he's got a... Oh no, you're just swimming really fast. Okay. And I'm underneath this. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll go for these guys. Not quite sitting ducks, but you know. I'll take it. Where'd your... Nope, wrong thing. There we go. That's what I want. And then, oh hey, that guy is already in the prime. I'll save you. Well, I mean, I guess there was no saving you. Okay, cool, cool. Let me find you, buddy. Let me reach you. Really? Oh, hey, there we go. Got 3. I was gonna say, well, why didn't we get any ink? Give me your ink sacks, please. We got this guy's ink sack, right? I stopped keeping track of the number, actually, that I have. Alright, you are next, unfortunately, buddy. And I did not manage to slay this guy, I feel. Yeah. Give me your ink sack. Okay. Hey, I see your eyes. Okay. Look at him standing on the continental shelf. Good for him. And good for me. Let us keep grabbing ink sacks until we can't. There we go. Could be worse, could be better. Nice. Okay, we've been doing this for a while. I don't fully know how much more of this I can do. I keep thinking that. It's like, actually, we got more in us. I see 2 more. Yeah, the bloopers aren't my white whale. They're just whatever they are. They're doing their best. And then I see one of those guys with a what is it? The spear, the harpoon? No, it's a trident. There we go, trident. Yeah, I see a little weapons guy with a trident. I'm like, nope. We're not gonna deal with you. Not gonna deal with you today. Not when we have like no armor. I suppose that's another thing I should check out is, do I have armor lying around that I can just use, own, make use of? We've got a golden helmet with a bunch of random stuff on it. We've got horse armor and leather cap. Neat. Okay, we do have some random enchanted stuff. Okay. Yeah, very cool. That's better than nothing. Do we have any sort of pants? I thought I saw pants somewhere. In one of the chests we were messing with. I'm pretty sure I saw pants. I wouldn't lie to myself like that, right? I mean, maybe I would. Huh. Is it... Oh, these are just leather. Chain leggings. Neat. They don't match, but that's okay. And yeah, next time we will go to the place, the Nether, and we will mine Netherrack. And I suppose our subplot will be to... Let's see, what will we do as a subplot? We will... Hey, buddy, I hear ya. But I will not be deterred. I will not be stopped. I've got a long way to go. And a short time to get there. And hopefully next week will be a little more fully... Hopefully next week we've thrown off the demon of insomnia. And we actually get some quality sleep. We're fully rested. We're definitely in a better state than last week, though. Holy crap, last week I probably shouldn't have even recorded. I should have just slept. But yeah. Okay, that's funky. Wait, this is... Is that what I'm doing? Weird. I thought something was going on. No, that's me. Although, counterpoint, that would be really bad for if we fall, right? Like, what if we turned... Of course, this is also really good, if we wanted to mine ice. I don't know why we would, but I don't think there's very many environments that we've got. I don't think there's any. Other than mountaintops, if we wanted to keep putting water on top of mountaintops and letting it freeze, that'd be a really dumb thing to do. Man, these boots might be worth it to keep them protected. That's so weird. That's so freaking weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that's just an effect of the boot and not things are going awry in brand new ways and never before seen ways. Yeah. By my poor dumb Luppi eyes. Yeah, hopefully pray for me to beat the insomnia demon. And then hopefully next week we will come back at this even more fully rested. We'll get a lot done. Get a lot done over the next 2 or 3 weeks and finally be done with this horrible, pointlessly long project. At least we made a boat. At least we made a boat ship that takes way too long to get up to. We should get rid of the anchor and we should just pour water down. That would be faster. Or we should do it on the other side. Okay. And then... Oh, which one is the one with the wool in it? And the dye. Oh yeah, don't we need... You need bone meal to make gray whatever. And then... Where is... Okay, so that's the wool. There we go. Works for me. Okay, so we got a lot of random wool. Oh cool, we got a little bit more than we had before. Okay. Fascinating. Probably not enough, but still. Better than before. And we don't have... Yeah, we don't have ways to climb that. Okay. That's fair. I can grab some dirt. We will add sails to this thing, and, well, we'll add one sail probably. That's probably all we got in us, right? Not that that's a bad thing or anything, it's just, that's just how it is. Nice. And then, I guess we'll... make a dumb little thing. Then we'll make a dumb little thing. And then we'll let this... Yeah, it's black wool. Okay. And there goes my dirt. Oh, we should have probably... It's fine, it's fine. We got this. There we go. See, it's okay. All we gotta do is be a little mindful of what we're doing. And there, we ran out of wool. Hooray. Not even one sail done. We're going to need a crap ton left. We're going to need a crap ton in order to get this done. There we go. We're gonna need a crap ton left. What does that even mean? And then I'd probably want to look up how I did my sails for the other ship. I don't remember. Because that's gonna look kind of dumb, I feel. And I feel like that's how I felt when we did the other ones as well, that they kind of just looked kind of dumb. As unfortunate as it is. Okay, let me... And look at what we've done. We made that extend a little bit. And like that actually looks pretty cool. I would not mind filling in this with netherrack, I guess. And probably that, and probably the whole river up until where it tapers off. And then we just have to do that front piece and decide where things will taper off in the swamp. But yeah. You know, as much as I complain about it, it is coming together. It is coming together, so that's cool, I guess. So we'll work to mine and finish this up, hopefully at some point. But we'll also try to get sales going for this guy. And there was another. Oh yeah, we wanna dig a hole in that mountain. There we go. That's the other project. So those are the 3 projects we'll be working on over the next few videos. Oh no, we can stay up here. It's fine. It's okay. We'll get a good looky-loo. Actually, this is a dumb idea, isn't it? It's a dumb idea, but who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Probably gravity. Gravity or fate. One of them. Come on. Nice. You can't always expect to to wake up and not fall somewhere weird. Awesome. So yeah, next time we will mine netherrack. The time after that, we'll probably mine netherrack, and maybe even the time after that. Once we fill up our chests, we will finally finish up placing it. I know it's going to take forever, but you know, we'll probably do these water areas, and then we'll finish up the front, and then we'll probably do the caves as well, like not the entire way through, but at least from everything we can see. So when you look in a cave, it's not like we see stone there. We'll camouflage it, so when we walk around randomly, we'll just fall in and die. So that's the game plan. Sorry, this project is taking way too long. I did not expect it to. I mean, to be fair, we've increased the parameters of what we're doing multiple times. Like, originally we were not going to do that whole, like, area. We weren't going to extend it that far. Originally, it was just really going to just be, like, this mountain. So, and then it extended to the whole, like, little mountain ridge area, and then it extended to the area around it, and then it just extended far, far beyond what you would expect. But yeah. We will be better rested. We will knock out this project. We will finish up random structures around here. That is the plan. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.